Greetings and happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to one and to all. And back. I am back with a new video. Now, first and foremost, I would like to greet everyone, give my salutations. Again, happy Saturday. Perhaps it is Sunday. Excuse me for the noise in the background, depending upon where you are on the globe. Prayerfully, everyone is doing well. And those of you who have been braving the elements, such as the frigid, and I do mean frigid, cold weather, these torrential rains, and still, yes, I just said still digging out from the snow and the ice, that you're doing well, that your family, friends, and loved ones are doing well. This has been, from my optics, because I've been out in it, some of the most bizarre weather I have seen. When I tell you 2 days in a row, and I'm in the DMV, for those of you that are not familiar with that acronym, that encompasses the District of Columbia, or Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. 2 days in a row, 2 days in a row, it snowed, dark, billowing clouds, and then the beautiful sun. The temperature plummeted to the 20s and then back up to the 40s. And there are many people still, narrator included, sniffling, but I'm doing much better. As you can hear, my voice is much stronger, and I give thanks and praise to my Creator. So please be careful and do not be fooled in these changes in the weather. I've actually seen, and I'll get off the soapbox in a minute, I promise you I'll land the plane, but I have seen people already, kids included, in shorts. Now, granted, 40 degrees to me is actually wonderful. But in my opinion, it's still a bit early to be coming out in your shorts. But hey, some people's immune system may just be that strong. I would encourage you, number one, to always consult with your physician, but to always be cognizant and remain hydrated at all times. And do things again according to your physician that will strengthen and boost your immune system. I've had a couple of friends tell me that they've had relatives and acquaintances hospitalized because of the influenza. I've never had it, to be honest, and this is actually strange. I've never tested positive for any of those respiratory issues, but what I test positive for regularly is pneumonia. And that, for anyone that has dealt with that, even the mildest form, is no joke, because that remains in your system for months, even when your symptoms subside. Those issues, if you will, stay within your system. Believe you me, it can wreak havoc and place a toll on you. So that is why many of you haven't seen me much outside of my new assignment, which I am extremely excited and happy about, and it has had me busy. So, that being said, let's get into this video. Mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. His name has been a buzz throughout New York and areas beyond. And he arrived, as many of you saw, I'm sure, suited and booted earlier this week for his corruption case, which was, much to, I would say, many chagrin, vacated. Yep, you heard me correctly. It was vacated. Now, here are the deets. Judge Dale Ho, I'm not being disrespectful, that's his name. D as in David, A as in Apple, L, E as in Edward, Ho, H as in Harry, O as in ostrich. Judge Dale Ho said that he, meaning Dale Ho, he needed to hear more of a independent argument. And he has subsequently named Paul D. Clement. Now, when I first heard Paul D., that reminded me of the movie Beloved, when Seta was friendly with Paul D. But let me get back on topic. But Paul D. Clement was named as the independent argument supplier, if you will. He's actually a lawyer and is going to present the said arguments. Now, that has thrown a monkey wrench in the April 21st hearing that was slated, but looks like, and I say that lightly, that Eric Adams too has received a slight reprieve. Now, earmark this. And I say that often because a lot of times I will do videos and I'll go back to certain dates and times. Today is Saturday, February 22nd, 2025, and the time is now 3:11 Eastern Standard Time, 3:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, Paul D. Clement, as the named independent lawyer by Judge Dale Ho, is to present arguments as it relates to the DOJ's request to drop the corruption case against Eric Adams. Now, the DOJ, is the Department of Justice. Now, the odd thing about this is the premise behind DOJ, and that's one of, I'll just say allegedly, Trump's big forces, was so that Eric Adams could get back to taking care of the migrant crisis in New York City. And from many reports, and again, I implore you to always, always, always conduct your own independent, thorough, and meticulous research, that it was imperative, it was suggested, and advised a good idea to, again, drop this case so that Mayor Adams can focus more on this migrant situation. There were many that believed that there would have been a rubber stamp, but after the 90-minute hearing earlier this week, that didn't happen. It was adjourned, meaning the court session, and in a surprise move, as I mentioned earlier, Judge Dale Holt. I have to laugh sometimes because this has been really a whirlwind. Because, again, I repeat, his need, his need to hear outside independent arguments named Paul D. Clement. Again, there was a hearing set for April the 21st, and it looks as though, because of this independent providing of information by Paul D. Clement, that date is now off of the table. Now, let's fast forward into Eric Adams, who went full gangster. And I mean that figuratively. On Friday, and let me just give you this right here really quickly. This is just the first page of the proceeding that occurred earlier this week and was the meat and potatoes behind Dale Holt. Now, some people may say Judge Holt is taking his time, perhaps stalling again. He has the right to obtain, to acquire as much information needed before he makes a decision. Now, there are some people that may believe his decision is already made. However, this is just a little distraction. Who knows in the world of law and legalese? We'll never know. But this is just part, a little sneak peek of the proceeding earlier this week. So let's fast forward to Eric Adams, who on Friday, and I want you all to be very clear on this, on Friday, wasted no time when he swiftly filed an 80 million. You heard me correctly. I'm sure my audio is fine, but if not, I'll repeat it. A $80 million lawsuit against sitting president, our current president, our 47th president, Donald Trump, and others in his administration. Now, this $80 million is over what? Again, these are all allegations. What is being said was removed from a city bank. You can't make this up. Now, the city, meaning New York City, alleges Trump's team violated not only loans, but grant terms when the $80 million that was on its way to the account was reversed. Keep in mind, Congress had already gave the green light to the transfer, and this money was earmarked for immigration services, mostly shelter for the migrants. Again, Eric Adams has sued or filed suit against Donald Trump and others at the tune of $80 million, where the city has alleged that Trump and his team, I'm going to assume the team encompasses those others named in this lawsuit filed on Friday, violated terms and grant terms. Again, earmark or remember the word grant. When, as I mentioned earlier, the 80 million was on its way to the account was reversed. And of course, Elon Musk's name is in the mix where allegedly he threatened such action on Twitter, which is X. So X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, as I sit and think about all of these actions, and again, keep in mind, I'm almost certain I actually saw an article where Trump was in favor of dropping the corruption charges against Eric Adams. The real motivation behind this lawsuit filed on Friday. In the world of politics, nothing surprises me anymore. And there are no, let me not say that. You should not be comfortable, in my opinion, in thinking that certain people may have your back. I have watched and listened long enough to see when it comes to money, power, and prestige, when you go against the grain, you'll find yourself on the side of a pleading where you are named as a defendant. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video, and I do hope that you do, please let me know by giving it a big old thumbs up, and any comments you may have. Do you think, do you honestly believe Eric Adams will eventually have to face the music and this corruption, or alleged corruption activities that he's been charged? Will he, as a result of the many protests, step down? Or will he, meaning Eric Adams, stand 10 toes down and remain in office unless he is charged, convicted, or compelled by the powers that be to step down. And what will come of this $80 million lawsuit against Donald Trump, our 47th president, Donald Trump, and others as it relates to funds that were on their way to a city bank? Again, allegations that it violated terms and was reversed. What will become of that? Will that money be recouped or is it gone? Until next video, thank you so much for tuning in. And always remember, please be safe, be well. And if you have been listening long enough, please be healthier. That should be ingrained in your minds. Health, 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 albeit mental, emotional, and physical, because truth be told, they all play a role together. Until next video, thank you for tuning in and bye bye for now.